Hey guys, welcome to a Q&A for my monthly Q&A for Comic which I'm excited to start. Sorry, just loading up everything. I started exactly at 8, so I'm happy with myself. I'm just sharing the link now. I forgot to share it somewhere. But hey guys, so just with the Q&A, leave your questions in the chat and I'll get to them. And we have a fun time here. That's usually what we do. So let me just post this one link. On. Posting it right here. And yeah, keep going with your questions and talk about what's coming up for the channel, TV shows, comics, movies. Just leave your questions in the comments. All right. Sorry about that. I should have shared that link before I went live. All right, now we are going to get started. We're seeing all the questions come in here. So I guess let's start with some questions. So Kenneth says, hey, and he has a couple of questions. So first is with the talk of the WGA, the Writers Guild, I guess Academy, strike potentially happening after May 1st, how will it affect the TV shows and films we watch? Honestly, I've not heard about a strike going on. You're the only person that told me about it. So I haven't really seen any rumors about that. So I'm not completely worried about it. But also, if it's in May, then the only shows that would really be affected are the summer shows. Because I remember when the writer's strike did happen, like 2007, I believe it was. The reason it was so devastating to that TV season is because it happened right in the middle of the year. So that was when all the fall shows are still going on. So summer, a lot of writers, have their break then. So I don't think it will really affect the TV shows for the fall. The only thing I could see it affecting are the summer shows. If it happens, like I said, I haven't really heard anything about that. All right, moving on to Kenneth, who says the Last Jedi teaser trailer, Luke Skywalker is saying the Jedi are no more. What could that mean? What is Luke's state of mind? Well, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of the mystery of the trailer, and the mystery of the title of the film is that we don't know. We don't know what that's all about, but looking forward to finding out when we actually do watch the movie. All right, moving on to the next question. With DC Rebirth being a huge success, do you think it will force Marvel to do a legacy type of reboot? I don't think Marvel will ever do a reboot. They never have. DC's done a ton of them in the past with their Crisis stuff. So I never see Marvel doing a reboot. A relaunch, yeah, figuring out a different type of direction to go with their company. They literally do that every year. So, and they have a teaser that came out today, I believe. It said Marvel Legacy. So are they going to focus more on the legacy aspect of Marvel? I believe so. But it will not be a reboot like DC or DC Rebirth's vein at all. All right, Nathan says, hey, Nathan. And then we have Cornholio, who says, do you think the Button story with Batman and Flash will be any good? I hope so. It comes out this week. Really looking forward to it. I haven't been really reading Flash. Actually, I read Flash this week just because the Iris cover looked really cool, and it wasn't that bad. I liked it. Artwork's still not my thing, though. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. I'm a huge Watchmen fan. Love the graphic novel. Appreciate the film. I know that's kind of a debate, but I do. I actually, in my freshman year of college, dedicated a whole semester of a class writing like a 15-page, 20-page paper on comparing Watchmen, the film, to the graphic novels. So I'm a big fan. Comic Frontline, we're planning on doing something with Watchmen in the future. So we have a lot of plans with that. And of course, we're covering Batman in the Flash crossover. And I'll be covering the Batman Flash crossover on my channel. All right, let's continue with some questions. Nathan says, have you seen Fast and Furious 8? What did you think about it? I have not. I don't think I've seen a Fast and Furious film since like the second one. I think I stopped there and I saw them like on television. I've never seen a Fast and Furious film in the theaters. So saw the first two, and they're not bad films. It just never made me want to go pay to go see a Fast and Furious film. It's like I'd rather just see on television. But at the same time, the newer ones, not even at that extent. I'm like, oh, well, Fast and Furious is on. I'm going to play that. So I'm not the biggest fan. or I won't even say biggest fan because it sounds like I dislike it. I don't dislike it. I'm just very neutral on the franchise itself. All right, moving on to DBK, who says, "What's your thoughts on the Spider-Man crossover?" I think it's a little bit too late to do it, right? Because Spider-Man came out like 5 years ago. It's been a long time. And the reason it's too late is because Miles Morales is already in the regular universe. So, like, who cares who the other Miles is? I mean, of course, I'll still pick it up. I hope it's a good storyline either way. But at this point, I think it's a little bit too late. And the hype of that cliffhanger has died a long time ago because they've been promising it and it's finally here. But the Marvel Universe is very different now than it was back then. So it's kind of weird that they're doing it now. Next is by MT. Did you see the Rick and Morty April Fool's episode? I am still not caught up at all on Rick and Morty. I have not started it. So I have not seen the April Fool's episode, but I've heard about it. My brother is a huge fan of Rick and Morty, so he told me about it also. And I told him, hey, Al, new episode. It's like, I know I have to watch it. And he did. He ended up watching it. He said he liked it. So that means anything. There you go. All right, next is Nathan. Will you get Injustice Gods Among Us 2? The gameplay trailers are very good, and I'm impressed with what they've been doing. I actually won't. I'm not very good at those type of games. My friend is going to get the games. I'm hoping he gets it for a system I have. He might be getting it for PlayStation, though, so that doesn't help me because I don't have a PlayStation. I have an Xbox, so we'll see. I think I'll play it with someone else's game. I'm not going to get it because I got the first one and I never really played it because I wasn't very good at it and I never liked those type of fighting games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. I like fighting games, but I'm never really good at those controls, so that's why I'm going to stick with the comic, just follow the story. I don't think I'm going to get the game though. All right, moving on to, and Jay's in the comments. Hey, Jay. I've got a couple hellos. Kenneth says, a lot were surprised with Supergirl issue. I guess a lot of people were surprised with issue 8 this week, and the story would much improve. Would you agree also? Kenneth, I'm going to say check out my review on Comic Uno episode. I saw you comment on it. So I have my review of Supergirl there. So you go check it out. And also, I'm sure we'll talk about it on Frontline Live this week. I don't want to spoil my placing of that, though. DBKMA, what is your favorite cartoon superhero? Superhero television show, a little bit more specific. So you mean like my favorite character from a cartoon superhero show? Let me know. MT says, are you looking forward to the Miles Morales animated film? Yeah, totally. I mean, I really like Miles's character, and I think it's nice that we're going to see him in the animated universe because it'd be kind of weird if they did another Peter Parker movie. It's like, all right, well, we have this Peter movie going on, spread some light on the other Spider characters. So definitely looking forward to that one. Jay says, yeah, that hype is dead, buried, dug up, cremated, and the ashes were buried. Yeah, I agree. The Miles Morales Peter crossover has been dead for a while, and now they're just like, you asked for it. It's like, yeah, 5 years ago we asked for it. Things have changed. DBK says, do you think Secret Empire could be good? Now, usually I'm always very optimistic with the events coming up. Like Civil War II, I really liked the beginning of, even though I think it crumbled by the end, just because it was too long and they kind of got greedy in the end. I feel like Marvel did too many issues, did too many tie-ins. Secret Empire, I honestly am not looking forward to at all, though. And you look at the solicits, and it's all over the place. So I originally wasn't even going to pick it up because I'm really not a big Captain America fan. I don't really care about this whole Hydra thing. And now that's like in every book we're picking up. I'm like, all right, I guess I got to at least try out Secret Empire, which is coming out this week. So I will have a review for issue 0. But I'm just not a big fan of Captain America. So I have an event all about him. Me personally, I'm not looking forward to it very much. But I know people that have really been liking the Hydra stories and are looking forward to it. All right, next is JLS. What do you think of Star Wars Battlefront 2 gameplay? Hopefully this won't have campaign mode. Yeah, I really want to get this one. I got the first one, but I didn't really play it that much because, like everyone said, there wasn't a lot to do with it. So I played it for a couple of days, and I'm like, all right, what's next? Because like you said, there's no campaign mode. It's like kind of like an arcade game more than anything with really good graphics. But I think I'm going to try out Star Wars Battlefield 2. Hopefully they've learned from their mistakes, but at the same time, I'm going to learn from my mistakes and check out the reviews before I buy Star Wars Battlefield 2. So if it gets bad reviews again, I won't pick it up. But if it gets good reviews and says, oh, everything's been improved, then I'll go pick up the game. I'm very picky with my video games. If you guys haven't seen, I'm very picky because they're really expensive. So, and I'm not a big gamer. I used to be, but not anymore. So I try to get the stuff that I feel like is worth it and I'll have fun with, which potentially definitely could be Star Wars. Moving on to Kenneth. What do you think is a right way and a wrong way to judge criticism when it comes to comics, both reading and reviewing? To judge criticism? So, like, can you elaborate on that? So you mean, like, to judge other people's criticisms, like how to critique? Let me know. DBK, are you excited for the future of Spider-Gwen or not? Yeah, I totally am. I was actually really upset with the crossover between her and Miles because it took up so much time from what could have been just a regular story with Spider-Gwen. So I am looking forward to it, though. I love the series. It's one of my favorites from Marvel, so very much looking forward to it. Got a couple of lows. So DBK asks about superheroes I really like from the cartoon shows and TV shows. That's hard. I would like need a specific cartoon show because there's so many. Like Young Justice, really like Artemis. X-Men Evolution, really like Kitty. DC TV, Arrow, I really like Thea. So it depends on the show, but there's so many great cartoons and TV shows we could talk about and who my favorite characters are. Tevi is in the comments. MT says, I heard Dr. Simon Hurt teamed up with Professor Pig and Nightwing. Is that true? Yes, he did in the latest Nightwing issue. Tavia, any opinion on Marvel's Legacy coming out? Not really, just because it's just such a small teaser. I mean, if it is like an all new, all different type thing, we all knew it was coming, right? We all knew that was going to happen. But I think with this, it'll be cool because it's focusing more on the legacy characters, which I'm still excited for. Marvel Generations, I think it's called. So it's an interesting direction they're going. So with the little information we have, could be interesting, but really don't have enough. MT says, did you see Kong's Skull Island? It was awesome. I heard good stuff about it. I think that'll be more of a DVD one for me because I missed it in theaters. I heard the good reviews after. And then that was a movie I was just going to go see if it was like nothing else in theaters type thing. And like I wanted to go with my friends somewhere. But it never came up to go see King Kong. So I haven't seen it. But I think one day I will. I think one day I'll end up seeing that one, but probably not in theaters. MT is giving him a little comment about Star Wars. Cat, it's EA. They don't learn their lessons. Girl could hope, right? Cornholio says, is there anything that a company could do to kill your love for the character? No, because I feel like, maybe you don't like the direction for the character now, doesn't mean you won't like the direction for the character later. So no, I think for the moment it could kill the character, but not forever. Unless the character never shows up again. That doesn't happen in comics. Kenneth says, like, how to review an issue or something you think could be done better than what it's meant. Well, I think everyone reviews stuff differently. I just say, if you're critiquing, be kind and not be, you could be negative and be kind, just the way you word stuff. It's just don't be a troll about things, right? I think that's my biggest advice, I guess I give. Like there's a way to critique and give negative comments and positive comments, but there's a way to do it with, with actual backing, you can't just say it sucks. Why? I don't know, it just sucks, You have to have backing to why you think this part is, not as good or why you don't enjoy something. So that is the best way to critique. And I think a big rule to critique that maybe some reviewers don't follow. All right, moving on to DBK. Right now, what is your favorite DC Rebirth and Marvel title? Marvel, I really liked Spider-Woman. That just ended. Ms. Marvel, 100% for Marvel. What other books I really like from Marvel? Spider-Gwen, but that's kind of like been on hiatus because of the delay, and I consider the crossover in hiatus because that was definitely more of a Miles story than a Gwen story. But always look forward to that. What else do I really like? From the top of my head, those are the Marvel books I really like. And then DC, Batman's kind of been on and off. I do really like that series, though. I like Tom King's stuff on it. What else do I really like? I could even just look at my pick of the weeks and see what I got up there. So that usually helps. Superwoman, I want that to be better. Like, I like the concept of, but the execution of every issue is not exactly where I want it to be. What else do I really like? Wonder Woman's really good. Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. Yeah, I would have to go down the list. It's hard when you're just thinking in your mind about it. But if you guys want to name some titles, I could tell you if I like it or not. All right, let's see. Kenneth says, I did not attend Star Wars Celebration in person, but I heard a lot of reports how the crowd control was handled. Is that a big problem for events like this at these conventions? Oh, yeah, crowds are always a big problem. New York Comic Con has a lot of crowds. That's something that San Diego, I feel like, deals with it well. San Diego, even though there's so much crowds, the crowd control, I think they've gotten used to it by now. They're able to handle it a bit more. But yeah, I mean, every big convention you go to where there's a lot of crowds, you're obviously it's overwhelming a lot of the times. But I've heard a little bit about the Star Wars Celebration crowds, which I'm not shocked by. MT says, and Tevia, I definitely answered about the whole Spider-Man stuff before, so I'm gonna skip that question. MT, with the X-Men Gold controversy and them talking about diversity killing comic sales, why does Marvel keep catching a foot? Oh, okay. So you're pretty much saying because all the controversy stuff that has happened over the last couple of weeks. Hopefully with the new stuff they're doing, they'll get back on track with the new X-Men stuff and whatever they're doing with the legacy things. And yeah, the controversy is horrible. We talked about it on Comic Frontline. If you want more of my thoughts on there, we had a big discussion about it on Frontline Live. Tevye, I answered about the reboot thing a little earlier, and the button I also answered about earlier in the Q&A, if you want to check that out. Let's see. Kenneth comments about my Superman blanket. Somewhere. Where is it? Over there. It's one of those Snuggie blankets, too, so it has the little sleeves. MT says, "What's your worst comic convention experience?" I don't really have bad convention experiences at all. Every convention I've had fun at, so very lucky with that. Tevye asks, any opinions on Jimmy Hudson coming back in the main universe recently? I'm a fan. I love Jimmy Hudson. You can check out my review for X-Men Blue, but I was a little lukewarm on the issues. So I think Jimmy could really make it interesting for the dynamic. So I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I always liked the character a lot. So I'm glad they found a spot for him. Who's that behind you? That other review dude said, "Who's that behind you?" Nobody, I hope. Everyone always says that though. There's just like there's lights back there, so it might just be a reflection. But I don't think anyone's behind me. All right, Zach Lego. What do you think would happen in the DCU if Wonder Woman fails as bad as Batman v Superman? Oh man, they're gonna have to rethink a lot of stuff because I think Wonder Woman, a lot of people are predicting success for. I'm predicting it looks awesome. So that does bad. I don't know what to say to DC. That looks great from the trailers. Let's see. JLS, I heard Professor Pig is getting a movie instead of Cyborg. Definitely not true. Professor Pig is not getting a movie. Let's see. MT, didn't Jimmy Hudson date Kitty Pryde in the alternate universe? Wow, that yeah, I think for a hot second they did in the Uncanny X. No, I'm not Uncanny. Ultimate X-Men, Brian Wood series. Believe they did date for a hot second. It's been such a long time since I've read that. I haven't read it since it was released. I'm like, wait, they dated? I'm like, yeah, they dated. It seems like a century ago. JLS says, okay, I was joking. All right, well, keep coming with the questions, guys. Then you should have added a LOL, JLS. All right. Tevye asks, do I think the Ultimate Universe should have been destroyed? This is definitely something I've talked about in the past, so I'm going to be very short about it. Yeah, of course, I don't think the Ultimate Universe should have been destroyed. I think Secret Wars is kind of a mess the way they did things. They just wanted Miles in the regular universe, and that's how it happened. So, yeah, I believe the Ultimate Universe should be a thing. I loved it, but right now there's no going back, so you just kind of have to see what they're doing for the ultimate characters now in the regular universe, and just kind of take it step by step to see what you like and dislike. You can't just say, well, I want the ultimate universe back, because it's not here, but we have to, take what we're getting. That other review dude says, can you describe Like Father Like Daughter in less than 5 words? Wow. And this is issue 4, which is coming up real soon for you guys who backed up the Kickstarter. We're getting real ready for that. It's almost done. We're excited about it. And when I say almost done, like month away done, but we're getting really close. So we're excited about this one for people who backed the Kickstarter. But less than 5 words, I would say game changer. A lot of the issues coming up are game changers, but yeah, game changer. That's what I'm going to say. JLS says, true. Here's a belated LOL. I accept your belated LOL. Cornholio says, what do you think will be the best and worst title from Resurrection? I mean, it's hard to judge what a best and worst title is going to be, but best title, I mean, X-Men Gold. I'm a huge Kitty fan. Writing was very good for the series. Again, won't go into the controversy just because I talked about it on Frontline Live, and I don't want to repeat myself with it. But yeah, the writing was really good for the series. So I would say X-Men Gold. And then worst, for me personally, the one I'm least interested in is Astonishing X-Men, because I just not a fan of any of the characters on the roster or hardcore fan of. So for me, that's the one I'm least interested in. Kenneth says, can it be hard to predict success? What's going to be great in comics, films, and TV? Of course, because I mean, you can't judge something that hasn't been released. You could say your opinion on what you anticipate for it, but you can't judge it. That's why just a question I answered before is like, oh, something I'm least interested in is this. You can't judge exactly what's going to happen, though, because you got to read the material for yourself. Tevye, question, Kat. Any opinion on the Valiant Summit? Because I saw the summit, it was amazing. I don't read any Valiant titles, so I have no opinion on the Valiant Summit. All right, moving on to JLS. What are your thoughts on all the variants? Do you buy any? Ever pick up a book just for the cover art? I think, yeah, I've definitely bought books just for the cover arts, especially back issues. Less of the current stuff, but something that, like an old book, would be like, oh, that looks awesome. And then you pick it up. You're like, oh, wait, that didn't even happen in the book. But, of course, yeah, I think we've all done that. And for variant covers, yeah, I buy a lot of variant covers, especially now. Both Marvel and DC have made it a bit easier where it's the same cover price, get cover A, cover B. I think all comic book companies have made it a bit easier in the past, like 5 years. The only time I'll ever spend like, more money, I wouldn't say a lot of money, but more money on a cover that's a variant, it would have to be like for a certain character. Like when Secret Wars was going on. May had a variant cover that I think was like $15. I got that because it's May Day. Like, I was gonna buy that. So there's definitely very special circumstances. Usually, it just happens like maybe once a year where it's like a $15 book. I'll get it because Kitty Pryde has an awesome cover on it. Usually, it's only for Kitty and May. I'll get it for maybe if like DC did Stephanie or something or Barbara and they had a really awesome cover, I'd do it. But DC usually doesn't do the really expensive variant covers like Marvel usually does. So that's my opinion on variant covers. All right. Tevius talk about the Ultimate Universe. Other review dudes, if you could think of a crazy new name of the X book, what would you pick? All new, all different X-Men, or superior, all new, all different X-Men. Just combine every adjective they've ever used and make it into a book. MT says, other than Spider-Girl, what's the oldest comic you own? Oh, I mean, Spider-Girl's not really an oldest comic book I own. It's from the 90s. That's not very old. I have stuff from the Silver Age, so probably a Golden Age I have stuff from, especially my dad's collection. So I have older stuff than Spider-Girl. Tevia, question, Kat, do you feel this Spider-Girl Mayday deserves another chance? Because I miss Mayday. Of course. Mayday should shine in the Marvel Universe. Wish people would pick up her stuff. Star Wars issue 1 from Marvel had 95 different variant covers, which is a lot. Yes, that is a lot. I didn't pick up any of the variant covers. The other review, do you think Superman is the costume Kal-El puts on, or do you think Mild Manner Clark? They're both the same character. You know, Batman, I think, is the only character I would say is like, all right, Bruce Wayne's the mask. Batman is the real Bruce Wayne. Superman, he is Clark Kent, and he's also Superman. He's both characters. MT, it's almost the 20th anniversary of Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. Would you and Jay ever consider watching that for Media Madness? Maybe. You know, if it's a week that we don't have a lot going on, maybe. I haven't seen it since I was a kid, so I don't really remember much from it. And if Jay's still in the comments, he could also answer that. Tevia, Kat, now the Superior Octopus is complete waste of time and money because Frank. Oh, okay, so that's not really a question, but do I like Superior Dr. Octopus? I think it's a little bit too soon to tell another Dr. Octopus story. JLS, who would win in a fight, Dean Cain or Henry Cavill? I mean, the actors, not their characters. Probably Henry Cavill because he's a bit younger and he's very fit. So probably Henry Cavill. MT, Static Shock Season 1 was released on DVD a while ago. Very cool. And Jay said he's down for the Scooby-Doo Media Madness, so I'll have to see. Let's see if we do it. The other review dude, if you could take the Champions, not sure if the book is still going. I haven't read it. Yeah, it's still going. In a new direction, what would you do with them? You can't kill Nova. I wouldn't kill Nova. I just make it more of a teen book. I mean, I dropped it because I was bored with it. I just make it more about the characters. So that's what I would change. Also the art. I don't think Ramos's artwork fits that book as much as I wanted to. All right, well, definitely keep coming with the questions, guys. And I guess I could update you guys what's coming up with the channel as I wait for some questions. So Wolf Blood is almost over, so that will be done, my reviews, soon. I think it's done in like 2 weeks. Media Madness, we have a new Media Madness this Wednesday, so that's going to be for Pretty Little Liars, the season premiere. So that's on Comic Frontline. Of course, Frontline Live is tomorrow, so check us out there. I think we're starting at 10 tomorrow, so check us out there. That'll be 10 p.m. Eastern Time. What else is going on? Legends Tomorrow podcast, we are recording this Thursday because we're going to be doing on our hiatus once a month. We're going to be doing a show. We pretty much have the whole hiatus planned, so look forward to that. We're going to have a ton of fun. What we're going to be doing is reviewing the whole season, so we're going to be talking about characters and what we thought about the season overall. So we'll try to get feedback through Twitter in the next couple of days. What else is going on? Of course, articles, Newsarama. this coming week, I'm actually doing a review for Batman, the Button story. So I'll be on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I have Miss Marvel because I love Miss Marvel and love talking about Miss Marvel. So looking forward to talking about that. The Marvel Report, me, Jay, and Blaze from the Marvel Report just put up recommendations for Cable. So if you want to learn more about that character, you can. That's there. What other promotions that I got? Like Father, Like Daughter. Obviously, if you guys have questions about Like Father, Like Daughter, you can ask in the comments. I know it's not Like Father, Like Daughter Q&A, but you can still ask what's coming up for that. So check out issues 1 through 3 if you haven't. We have our Facebook page if you want to get physical books and digital books. It's on Comixology, all 3 issues. Also, Heroes Ignited is on Comixology now, which is our anthology book of all the different Short Fuse Media titles coming together, saying some short stories, telling some short stories. And I have a short story with Casey, Wes, and Stephanie going to a comic book store. So it's a lot of fun. It's actually my comic book store. So it's a lot of fun. What else is coming up? I got a lot of Comic-Cons coming up in like May, July. I think June I have 1 Comic-Con coming up, maybe. May I have 2. No, actually, May, June, I don't have any. May, I have 2. July, I have 3. August, I don't know. I still have to, like, plan. If you guys want to tell me what, August, I definitely have 1. But if there's any Comic-Cons you would like me to go to exhibit, like Father, Like Daughter, please let me know. What other stuff? And of course, superhero shows are coming back next week. So I'll be back with those reviews. Loud House reviews I've been doing. Hopefully you've been enjoying that. The show's awesome, and I love talking about it. So that I have going on. So yeah, that's kind of all the updates. If you have any other questions of what's going on with the channel, let me know in the comments. I wanted to do the updates in the middle. That way, as people do their questions, it's a bit easier. All right, let's go up. Tevia says, I'm going to skip the Peter question, Tevia. I'm going to skip the Spider-Man awful things because we talked about Amazing Spider-Man very many times, Tevia. So I'm going to skip those. Other review, dude, I talked about Spider-Man 2 a little earlier in the cast if you want to check that out. Kenneth, Kat, would you be up for Sterling Gates' return to write Supergirl for DC Rebirth in the future? Of course. Love his writing. Got High from the Flash Shapeshifter. Tevia says, question, are you excited for the future of Superman and the Titans for Lazarus contract? Superman, as I've always said, I'm not a hardcore Superman fan, but I'm liking what they're doing so far. But that's why it's never really like on my top 5 because I'm not a hardcore fan of the character as my other frontliners. But I always liked Supergirl a lot. I was always a big Connor fan. Those are the 2 super characters I have bigger investment towards. And Lois, I do like Lois a lot too, and Clark and all them. But it's just I'm not as hardcore of a fan as again my other frontliners. So what else was I gonna say? Oh, Titans. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Judas contract. It looks fun, and Deathstroke needs a new direction. So glad he's getting one. All right, MT says, if Catwoman ever got another movie, what would you like it to be about? I like to see a heist film. Yeah, I think that'd be the best heist film for Catwoman if she ever got another one. I think the only chance you really had for that was after Dark Knight Rises, but they didn't take it, so. Exile State Comics, if you could redesign a character from each Marvel and DC, who and what changes? Green Arrow, because I hate this whole V-neck thing going on. Just like going a little bit more classic would be nice. Marvel? I don't know. Maybe Captain Marvel. I feel like she needs an update. Say Captain Marvel. I don't know what I would change, though. Tevia says, Kat, do you think Renew Your Vows is better than the main book? I don't like the current arc of the main book right now, but I like Renew Your Vows, but I don't think it's perfect. It definitely has its problems. Like, I have a lot of enjoyment of it, and yeah, I do see its problems though. So, like, some of the dialogue could be a little awkward if they ignore me. It's a weird character. But the overall gist of it is a lot of fun. And the last issue was really good. I liked the X-Men issue. That was my favorite so far. But I think other than like the first issue, it never made my top 5. So it's just there's something always missing. But this issue I really liked, and the direction looks really good with stuff coming up with the solicits. So yeah, I think that answers the question. Tevia says he recommends SuperCon in Florida. Well, when is SuperCon, Tevia? Let me know. And where in Florida? Because Florida is a big state. Another review, dude. How many sold copies of Renew Your Vows would it take for Marvel to bring back the marriage? I think it's its own thing. Like, I don't think Marvel would bring back the marriage right now in the current book. I'd never say never, but as of right now, I don't see that happening. Especially because they have Renew Your Vows. MT, if Sam Raimi decided to make another superhero film, what should he direct? I don't know. I mean, I had a lot of fun with his Spider-Man stuff. I don't know what else he should direct. All right, hold on. Warus, are you excited for Deathstroke's new Teen Titans team? Yeah, that looks really cool. I'm very excited for that. Waru, are you excited for Watchmen anime movie? We're actually going to talk about that tomorrow on Frontline Live, so I'm going to save my opinion for that one. The other review, do you think Finn will play a bigger role than just Sleeping Beauty in the new Star Wars film? Yes, I do. I think all 3 of them will have their own particular journey, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, Rey will have the bigger journey to take. All right, let's see. Tevia says, all right, I've answered this before about Connor and John. Tevia, so I'm going to skip that. Kenneth, if Matthew Vaughn does indeed direct the next Superman film from DC Universe, what would you like to see in it? I think he would make it a bit brighter. Like, I just want to see it brighter. I know a lot of people like the darker look of it. I'm not even saying tone. It just like the visual look. I would like to see a bit brighter. I feel like Matthew Vaughn is better at street level stuff though, so I feel like that'd be a little weird for him. Not, I would love to see it because I love him as a director, but he's usually better with the grounded stuff, street level, because he's very good at like the martial arts stuff. All right, MT, have you ever gotten a terrible present that someone knew you would hate and got it for you anyway? I don't think I've ever got a present someone thought I would hate. No, I don't think I gotten that. I mean, I think we've all gotten a present like, oh, cool, but I don't think I've gotten a present where you're like, ooh, she's gonna hate this one. Omnitron, do you think Renew Your Vows should end with Peter and MJ and Annie just ending up in the mainstream universe? That sounds very DC Rebirth though, so I don't. Marvel's not really doing a DC Rebirth thing. And I feel like that'd be stealing DC Rebirth because that's what's going on with Lois and Clark. Again, anything's possible, but kind of rather just Annie and MJ and Peter be its own thing, because if they ever did bring back the marriage for MJ and Peter, I don't know if I would want Annie to be there yet. I would like just to see their marriage, because they couldn't even handle a marriage. Picture handling a family of being a parent. So I don't know if I would want to see Annie in the regular universe. So I think that should be its own thing. Just like saying, oh, do I think May and back then Peter and MJ would have worked in the regular universe? I don't know. I feel like it was really good as its own thing. All right. The other review, dude, is there a video I can watch on your channel that will get me up to date with what the heck Secret Empire is? Sadly, no, because I'm not reading Captain America, so I didn't read it. So I'm not even up to date with what's going on Secret Empire until I read it. But I will have a review for Secret Empire issue 0. So if you want to check that out, you can. But I didn't read any of the Captain America books leading into it, so good question. Waru, which character do you want to see die in Secret Empire? Nobody, because like I'm tired of the event always having to end in death and then them coming back a year later. So nobody. I could see them killing off Steve Rogers again. Jay says it would take that outselling all other Marvel titles, being #1 on Diamond list, in all other Spider-Man books, and have an absolute bottom. Yeah, I agree, Jay. That's the only way Renew Your Vows would do that. And I don't know how well Renew Your Vows is selling, but my guess would probably be more towards the middle. The Amazing Spider-Man is outselling that book. So, I mean, I think we're just lucky that we have that book, you know? That's what I think we're lucky for. All right, let's see. Tevia says that the Comic-Con he was talking about, Super Con, I think it was, July 27th, July 30th in Fort Lauderdale. If it was a different date, that might have been possible, but that is the date, I believe, of San Diego Comic-Con, so I will be going to San Diego. Let me see if it is. San Diego Comic-Con. Believe it is the same date. Or close to it, where it'd be hard to travel right after. Let's see when San Diego is. Oh, no, it is the week after, but I don't know. It's a little close. A lot of traveling. Let's see. Rabbit Ears blog, hey Kat, do you think that Archie and Betty will get back together in the new Archie books? I think anything's possible. And I think that's very possible after what's been going on in the current Archie books with Veronica and Archie. That other review dude, I agree. I don't want to see the marriage, but what if Annie by herself showed up in the 616? That could be interesting. Yeah, that I think would be interesting. But who would Annie stay with, you know? She doesn't have her parents. I feel like that's a little bit more plausible for May because she's older, so like she could stay on her own if she wanted to. I know she's in high school, so she's still underage, but it's a little bit easier than like a 10-year-old dealing with her own stuff. With May, she could kind of like get an apartment with someone. It would be cool if May end up in Gwen's world. That'd be cool. Like Gwen and May just sharing apartments with each other. Like that would be fun. So I think that May would be a little bit more plausible than Annie, though. But I do agree it would have been more interesting with just Annie. MT, I think it could be cool if Super Sons they took a trip to the future where they become Batman and Superman. That would be cool. That would be a fun, cute story. Kenneth says, Kat, do you think there's too many ads in single issues? It's how they make their money. I don't think so. I mean, you just deal with them. So like honestly, they don't bother me that much because you still have the same page count, so that you would get. So I don't mind the ads. I mean, again, this is how the companies make their money. Let's see. All right, so keep coming with the questions. I think most of them are just regular comments. Tevia asks, do you think there's too many spider people at the moment? Yeah, I mean, I think there's always too many spider people, but I think there's too many spider people who have titles. That's the problem. But a lot of them got canceled recently. So Silk looks like it's ending. Spider-Woman ended. I think Spider-Man 2009 should end. I know Tevye will disagree with that, but I think that title is long overdue to end. What else? I'm trying to think what other spider titles there are. So yeah, I think they kind of narrowed it down right now. I mean, Web Warriors ended a long time ago. So I would like to see a Spider-Woman title. I would like to see a May get her own title again. So I can never say there's too many spider characters because then Marvel would hear that and be like, oh, no May title. It's like, no, we want May. So yeah, I think they've narrowed it down a little bit more. But yeah, they just add Ben Reilly and Renew Your Vows, though, so that's probably why they took away Spider-Woman and Silk. Yeah, there's always a lot of spider titles, but at the same time, they're all different characters. I don't mind in that regards. If it was the same character with all these titles, that gets a bit boring, and that's been done in the past. Whereas, like, they would have an X-Men title a long time ago and pretty much be the same roster, except, like, one extra person. So, and then Batman, Batman, Bruce had many titles of his own. So, I think when it's different characters, it's a little easier. Even though it's in the spider vein, there's still different characters doing different adventures. It's not just Peter having these many titles. The other review dude says, "What Silk is ending?" But yeah, 2099 needs to end. Yeah, it does. Silk is ending. Sadly, I did like the title too. I mean, it had its ups and downs, but overall, I really did like the title, and I like the character a lot. Kenneth says, "Do you think there's too many or not enough Super Family books / Bat Family titles?" I think Super Family has just enough. I don't think we need more. I don't think we need less. Batman, I would also say kind of has exactly what I need from Batman. Maybe Red Hood and the Outlaws can get canceled. I don't know if we really need that one because that's a Superman and Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman and Batman title. Also Trinity, like I think it's necessary, but at the same time I don't. Like as I dropped it because I don't think the story really adds much. So as much as I think it's important to have a Trinity title, I think it's a little bit too much. All right. Moving up. Tevye says Spider-Gwen still exists. Yeah. And she will forever exist because Spider-Gwen's awesome. And I will always read Spider-Gwen. I don't need Spider-Man 2099, though. And Spider-Gwen has a bigger following than Spider-Man 2099. Much bigger. All right, Donnie, St. Pierre, did you hear about how IDW is starting to make Star Wars books alongside Marvel? Yes, I did. And we're going to talk about that on Frontline Live tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Go check it out. MT, have you ever read Spider-Man Sins Past? Sadly, I have. I have read that book. Tevye, do you think Scarlet Spider, aka Evil Ben Riley, can be saved? I'm sure he will be. Jay says, well, Peter will have 3 titles. Renew. I forgot about Spectacular. Amazing, Renew Your Vows, and Spectacular. See, I think Spectacular is a little bit too much. Well, I would have to read it first to see if it's good. But then it's like, all right, we got a lot of Peter books. Tevye says Prowler got canceled. Yeah, and I'm glad it did. It's another title that didn't need to have its own title. Kenneth says, what is your favorite title from IDW? Overall, like of all time? Right now, I don't think I'm reading any IDW titles, so I guess that answers it. But I definitely liked IDW titles in the past. I liked Powerpuff Girls from IDW. The old Powerpuff Girls was good. So other review dude asks Jay a question. Tevye says that Red Hood and the Outlaws is amazing, and I love Trinity. Trinity is just really repetitive for me. I just got really boring, and so did Red Hood and Outlaws. I mean, maybe because I just don't have as much of a fandom towards Jason. It's not bad at all. It's just that I don't think it's very necessary as a book, but I know there's a hardcore Jason fans out there. Other review dude, what was the worst book you have ever read while being Comic Uno? Oh man, I mean, I read a lot of bad books, but recently our worst comic of the year for Comic Frontline was The Discipline from Image. Really didn't like that book. It was like really disrespectful to the main character. It was horrible, in my opinion. So I did not like that book at all. Sparrow says, ever read Spider-Man Blue? Yeah, great book. Really well done. Especially the ending. I love that scene between MJ and Peter when they're talking about Gwen. That's a good moment. Kenneth says his favorite IDW books are Star Trek books, Back to the Future, My Little Pony, Strawberry Shortcake, and the Disney books. I get those from my sister. I don't think the Disney books come out from IDW anymore. Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. The Mickey Mouse ones do come out still. Because I was thinking about the movies comes out from Joe books now, like the Frozen, the Finding Dory stuff comes out from Joe's books. And Jay agreed that was a horrible book. The other review dude asked me and Jay a question. Is for you as well, Kat, what is your favorite monthly that's going on right now? I did answer that a little while ago for DC and Marvel, so I'll answer indie books. Paper Girls, Paper Girls, Paper Girls, and Paper Girls. I think that's like my favorite book going on right now is Paper Girls. So gonna say that. Even though I like a lot of other indie books too, Invincible is good. But yeah, Paper Girls all the way. Tevi asks if I think Young Justice is coming back. Yes, Young Justice has been confirmed that they are coming back. So it's not a think, I know. MT, would you like to see Dick Grayson as Batman again? No, I got my fill as Dick Grayson for Batman. I like him as Nightwing more. I liked him as Batman, but I think that was good for its time. I don't want to see the story repeated right now. It's actually been too recent to repeat that. I know it's been a while, but still would be too recent. All right, moving on to Exile State Comics. What canceled title would you like to see come back? Spider-Girl. That's what I'd like to see come back. Tevius is in DC Rebirth, but I don't know if that's a question or not. Wally West. Hi, Kat. How do you feel about the X-Men Gold artist controversy from this week before? Check out Frontline Live. We had a whole conversation about it on that show. So go check that out. That was from last week's episode. We had a big conversation about it. Nathan, did you see the finale of the Vampire Diaries? What did you think of the series finale? I did, actually. I did not watch like the whole season, but I watched the finale and it was a hot mess, honestly. There's moments I liked. Like I liked Caroline. She got that letter from Klaus, was cool, but that was a hot mess, man. The organization, everything was just like, it was confusing by the end and not in a good way. It was just like so unorganized, it felt. So I didn't like it very much. MT says Saga is coming back in May with a price tag of 25 cents. Got to catch up with Saga again. Like I caught up and then I fell behind again. It looks like Tevi is asking what's my favorite and least favorite book from the New 52. I actually did a video on top 5 New 52 books and worst 5 New 52 books. So just type that in, Comic Uno, and you'll find my opinion on that. Kenneth says, which free Comic Book Day comics do you plan on getting? Obviously Marvel, DC, but like from the smaller companies, gotta get the Loud House. I think Power Rangers coming out with something too, so I'll get that. But Loud House, like that's like the ultimate goal is to get that Loud House book. I love the Loud House, so I'm very excited to get that free Comic Book Day book. And I'll probably do the same thing I did last year. So what I did was I did a whole haul like I always do. I've been doing hauls since I started this channel. You know, I do my free comic book haul, say what I did. Oops, sorry, I keep moving my computer, trying to fix my placement. Anyways, so I do a haul. I talk about what I did at my comic book store, what I got, and then I read my comics that I get time to read, and then I do a rapid fire reviews. So kind of like my Comic Uno episode, except just for the free Comic Book Day books. So that way it's not like individual reviews, but it's everything at once. And it seems like you guys like that. So I'm going to do that again this year. Love free Comic Book Day. Moru says, do you think the canceled Blade Daughter comic should be revived? Totally. I was really excited for it, but I don't think it will. After behind the scenes stuff, it just won't happen, sadly. But I was ecstatic for that book. I was really looking forward to it. MT, have you read Swamp Thing? I actually haven't. Never really been interested in the character, but I did read Animal Man with the New 52. And I always forget that like came out with the New 52, but that's a book more people should talk about now. Like everyone talked about it when it was out, but more people should talk about it. And Animal Man should come back. That would be awesome for DC Rebirth. All right, moving on. Tevi, I'm going to skip that X-Men question because I've also answered that in the past. Wally West, I'm a big fan of Archie, but haven't read many of the current comics. Any recommendations? Just pick up Mark Waid stuff. Pick up Volume 1 of Mark Waid, the trades, and just catch up with that. Very easy to get into Archie with that. That's how I got into Archie. Waru says, are you excited for the TVMA Castlevania Netflix cartoon? Haven't heard about it. Nathan says, "Oh yes, I agree. The series finale of VD was a deep, hot mess and incomplete. So many unanswered questions to ask and answer. At least there's the originals." Supposedly they want to make a spin-off. I don't know. It's weird. I was very upset, not disappointed because I haven't been invested in the show a long time. I'm like, yep, that's the Vampire Diaries, but I was disappointed. The other review dude, do you think Marvel is losing fans at the price of their books? How much more can they charge? Wait, Loud House has a comic? Yes, Loud House is getting a free comic book day book. I'm promoting it. I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm promoting it. Go check it out. Also, they have Paper Cuts is doing a graphic novel. I feel like that's coming out soon, a couple of months from now. They're going to have that. I will review it. And they announced a second volume of that too. So look forward to that. And going to the price tag thing, yeah, it's getting hard with the price tag. And that's why I definitely eliminate a lot of my Marvel books. And I think it's mostly not even the price tag. Honestly, it's the shipping. How many books they ship in a week is so much that you just can't pick it up all. Especially if you read weekly like I do. Like trades is a bit easier, but weekly it's like everything's thrown in your face. So it's harder to pick up all those books. So you have to really pick and choose what you like from Marvel with the heavy price tag and how many books come out each week. I feel like that's for comics in general. You got to really pick and choose what you want. So Tevi Axe was my favorite and least favorite stories from the New 52 Superman. I honestly didn't read all the New 52 Superman. I read some of Action Comics. I read the Death of Superman, and that's pretty much it. So I guess my favorite was the Death of Superman, and my least favorite was Action Comics, the beginning of it. This is the only two I read, so that's my only opinion on it. Kat, with great power comes great swag. Exactly. Just gotta scroll up. Kenneth says, besides cons, do you attend any sporting events? Not religiously, but if I ever have an opportunity to go to a sporting event, I'm like, cool, let's go. In the past, I've been to baseball games and basketball games. I think that's it though. Only basketball and baseball, but those are the two sports I really like, so I wouldn't really need to go to any other sporting event. I feel like it'd be interesting to go to a hockey game. Football, I've never been too entertained by, so I wouldn't really want to go to a football game. But basketball and baseball are my two favorites. So those are two games I've already been to. So marked it off the bucket list already. Waru, how would you introduce Plastic Man to the DC Rebirth universe? Don't have much of a big opinion on Plastic Man, so I don't know. I don't know how I would introduce him. I don't even know where I would introduce him. Maybe a team book first and then expanding more on his character. All right, moving on to, let me see. Tavia says, now think Star Wars Rebels Season 4's final season. What do you think is going on with all the characters? I've only seen the pilot of the show, so I can't say anything about it. I have no opinion. The other review dude says, all this time I legit thought I saw someone in the window. Most people say that because of the glare it is. It's like this, I think we have like a wind something weather system out there that I think is the glare, but yeah, it's the glare. All right, moving on. I'm gonna skip that about the SGW thing, Tevia. SJW, sorry. Let's see. Wally West says, thank you, and big fan. Thank you for checking my videos out, Wally West. Also, I'm going to Free Comic Book Day at my local comic book store. Also, I recently got lighted to pitch a book to a local comic book store publisher. Any tips? That's awesome. Any tips? Depending on writing tips or just pitching tips. But writing, if you have your story idea, I would say write the first issue, write a couple of issues out before anything. That way you know what your story is, because that's the only way you can really give a good pitch is knowing your story inside and out, knowing your elevator pitch, what's the book in like 2 sentences. So just know your story. And the only way to do that is to have issues written. So that is my recommendation. This is for anyone who can answer this, is Kate Bishop's book canceled? Haven't heard anyone talk about it. No, it's not. It's doing, I think, well. I love it. It's definitely one of my favorite Marvel books. That has not been canceled. Waru said, what character should not return in DC Rebirth? I don't know if I have a character who's like, no, don't return. I don't have anyone in mind. Alan says, shocking. Kat has a favorite sport. Not a religious sports person, but yes, basketball and baseball are my favorites. That other review dude, football, I've never been too entertained by. Are you not entertained? Yes, I am not entertained by football. So I'm kind of lists his Marvel books. Tevye asks, do I think Bunker is going to come back into Titans? No, I don't think so. He didn't really. I feel like not a lot of people really had a following for him, so there's no one like asking for Bunker to come back. So that's why I don't really see Bunker coming back. All right, let me see. Alan says the only channel I don't have mod powers for. Well, you know what, Alan? You're going to get them. There you go, Alan. You are now moderator. I think Jay has it too. All right. NT, have you ever read any early 90s image comics? I have them, but I haven't really read too much of early Image 90s stuff. And I definitely have a few in my collection. Nathan Banks says, I heard Julie Plec, the woman who's the showrunner for The Vampire Diaries, will come back with something revolving around the school and Alaric and Caroline. Would you be open into a show like that? Yeah, hell yeah. The only reason that, I really stuck with Vampire Diaries as long as I did. And I loved the first, 4 seasons. They were really good. But, as it went downhill was Caroline. She's an awesome character. She's one of my favorite TV characters. So 100% I would watch that if that was a thing. Waru asks about if I read Valiant. No, I don't. I always find it very hard to get into their books because there's not very much. And now Brant doesn't have mod power either. He's getting mod power. There you go, Brant. Brant's got the mod power. And just scroll down a little bit. I cheated. All right, so MT, did you pick up any of the April Fool's Image Comics variant covers? I will be picking up the Gwen one. That's the only one I really wanted, but I'll be getting the Invincible Gwen one this week. I made sure. I asked my comic book store. I'm like, I need to get this one. I need to get the Gwen cover. MT, are you going to see Blade Runner 2049? I haven't seen Blade Runner anything, so no. So I will not. The other review, dude, good to hear. I picked up the variant cover for Katie Bishop and really love that kind of comic. Love it too. I love Kate Bishop, one of my favorite characters. Waru, which DC character would be a big COD player? I want to say Kamala. I think Kamala would. I think I saw you comment about Call of Duty before, but maybe it's a little bit after. Yeah, I think Kamala would be a big Call of Duty fan. Oh yeah, Waru said Kat likes basketball, baseball, and Call of Duty. I know, I'm a person with many layers. And my mom's walking in and talking and printing something.
There's nothing coming out, Vinny. It's faded.
And she doesn't know that everyone could hear her.
It's faded.
I'm glad the printer doesn't work. Sorry, guys. Our printer doesn't work, and we need to get a new one. And the papers are faded, as you heard. So Tevia says, so same thing about, no, this is a cartoon though. So Tevia says, Kat, do you think Superior Spider-Man return in the new animated series going to come back in the comics? No, I don't think Superior Spider-Man will come back. We're seeing Superior Dr. Octopus though. That'll be the next format of him. Let me go up. Kenneth says, you get frustrated when a book you like gets canceled. Of course, I think we all do. Brant says, and hello, Brant, you don't have mod powers on my channel, Alan, yet. So, Alan, you're getting all the power. And Jay said, yes, I have the I don't know. My mom tried waving. Let's see.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. She made her special appearance. I hope you're enjoying my conversation about comic books. Well, I don't think that's going to help the printer, but all right. Well, now we're moving on to the next question. So, and the Superman cover is gone now that everyone was loving. You need paper? No. Okay. All right. Let's see. Just skipped a couple of questions. Thanks, Mom. Alan says, here is a question for Kat. Do you think The Last Jedi, we will learn more about Rey's past? Yeah, I think they confirmed that we will. So excited about that. All right, moving on. Brant says, LOL, by the power of Kat, I have the mod power. Yes, you do, Brant. All the mod powers. I don't know what exactly the mod power gives you, but I gave it to you. All right, Jay, Kat, what is the one series you would want an animated series made of? Mayday. I think that's like an answer for everything, but yeah, Spider-Girl, totally. MT says, with Whedon directing the Batgirl film, I'd like to see Cassandra Cain as Batgirl with Barbara as Oracle. See, I feel like Whedon would be better with Steph, though, because he's very good with, like, fun characters. Not that I think he wouldn't be good with Cassandra, but I think it would be better with Steph as Batgirl and Barbara as Oracle. But yeah, add Cassandra in there. Make it a buddy type movie. Like, make it Cassandra and Steph and Barbara just being awesome. Like, I'd be game for that. Totally. So the other review dude said, when is the alternate reality Comic Uno Tiff from Comic Pop and that Sea Monster podcast going down? I don't know. I didn't know they were having a podcast, but I will definitely listen if they are, because they're awesome people. Kenneth says, Kat, do you think we will get a prequel comic or novel or both for The Last Jedi? Well, we already know that we're getting a Captain Phasma book, which is kind of a prequel to The Last Jedi. So I'm sure they're going to milk that cow in a good way, and they're going to give us a lot of Last Jedi stuff. Tevia says, do you think Mary Jane variant covers are going to pull a spin-off title for Mary Jane? I think you never know. I mean, I know I'm getting a couple of those variant covers as a big MJ fan. Kamala, Kamala is a DC character, LOL. I think Kamala would be too into LOL. Yeah, Kamala would totally want to play Call of Duty, I think, and I agree. She would be very much into it. Tevia says, Kat, any opinion on the upcoming Spider-Man? Oh, I already talked about that, so go check out earlier in the podcast. And people are saying hi to my mom, who is back looking for ink, so she is hearing you saying hi. They called you Mrs. Uno, so that's your name.
Thank you.
I don't know if you heard her, but she said thank you, so she appreciates it. So Brant says, if May Parker got her own series again, what would you want it to focus on? And what story would kick off the series? Brant, this is my favorite question of all time, because I could go forever about what I want to see with May. But I would like to see senior year of high school, because she's been in high school for like 12 years. So it'd be nice for her to get closer to graduating. But at the same time, I wouldn't want her to start in college, because then I'd be cheated. I feel like we didn't see her graduate, and she's been in high school for so long. I like her to, I think a part-time job would be kind of cool, seeing her trying to balance that, because she did lose her father. So, maybe finances are a bit tight. I would like to see that. I think that could be a good focus, just kind of just seeing what her life is without her father and having to be that hero. So I think there's so many directions you can go with that. And yeah, of course, bringing her supporting cast in a bit more, because we haven't really seen them interact or react to the stuff going on with May. The one pet peeve I've always, and not a bad pet peeve by any means, but just one thing I always wanted to happen is that, May's friends never knew she was Spider-Girl. So I always felt like in some capacity that kind of limited her supporting cast, and because they're awesome characters. So I would like to see one or two of them know in the future, especially now that Wes knows. Also, another thing, seeing more of Wes and May's relationship, that could definitely be a first love type relationship that we never really saw with May. She's had romantic relationships, but definitely nothing too serious. So it'd be nice to kind of see where that story goes. So as you can see, I could go on forever about where I would want Mayday to go. Marvel, I am totally available if you want me to write a Mayday story. All right, moving on to more. Jay says, what character in the comics right now do you think is the most important to comics right now? Wow, Jay, that's an awesome question. For DC, Superman and Lois, I think is definitely obvious. And for Marvel, Kamala, 100%. I think Kamala, with where we are as a society, I think Kamala is 100% the most important character. Maybe is the most important character in comics right now in general. And everyone's saying hi to my mom. And Brand says, "Hi, Cat's mom. Sorry about the printer. Yeah, it's been going on for like a week or so. I'm like, we got to get a new printer. It's been with us for a while, so I think it's time." And T says, have you ever read Tim Seeley's Hack and Slash? Yes, I have. It's been a while since I've read it. I think since I started this YouTube channel, this is the last time I read Hack and Slash. Maybe the last time it's been out, but I have read it. I still remember a scene that I mention every once in a while, but a scene from that comic where she ends up going to a high school. And there's this monologue that she goes to this high school that she doesn't actually go to. And everyone's like, yeah, she goes to the school only because she has lunch there. People believe she goes to this school because she sits there and has lunch. So for some reason, that's always stuck with me and being a hilarious scene. But yeah, it's a good series. And I love Tim Seeley's writing. Jay says, tell Kat that is payback for waking her up in the middle of the night for her schedule. Yeah, I think my mom's always trying to have payback with that. Everyone's saying hi to my mom. Waru says, why is Quicksilver? Usually they're very good with not coming in the room. Usually I'm just like, hey guys, doing a show, but the printer is in here, so can't prevent that. All right, Waru says, why is Quicksilver's suit so weird in the comics? I haven't been looking into Quicksilver's stuff. What comic is he even in now? Probably something I don't read. Uncanny Avengers probably he's in. I don't read that one, so I don't really know what his new costume looks like. The other review dude said Alan's going to be the Kyle Rayner of mods. So he's going to be the White Lantern of mods, but turned back into a Green Lantern. Tevia said, oh, this is a Star Wars. I don't think I can answer this, but Kat, do you think an Old Republic animated series is possible? I don't know anything about the Old Republic, so I don't know. MT says, have you seen Pacific Rim? I have not. Mars says, Skyrim is not safe. Okay, I'm going to skip that. Waru says, do you want a Jar Jar comic? No, I do not want a Jar Jar comic. I think I'm good. Does anyone want a Jar Jar comic? The other review dude, if you could make a Mayday Kitty Pryde team-up book, what would be the first issue? Oh, man. Well, they would have to meet up somehow. I think Kitty... Oh, man, what would... Well, now that Kitty's in New York, it'd be kind of fun. Maybe somehow May ends up in Central Park, and that's how the team-up starts out. I would like to see that. Yeah, it depends on also what, are we talking current Kitty Pryde? Because, again, the Central Park thing, I think, would work. So I think May would come across the Xavier Institute, the new one, in New York City, and that's how the team-up will begin. Tevia says, why do we need a Captain Phasma book? Honestly, we know nothing about the character, so I'm interested in it. And I do like Kelly Thompson as a writer, so I'm excited for that. The other review dude, as a big Nova fan, I would love to see Mary Jane Nova book. I think all month it shouldn't just be covers. It should just be one shots of Mary Jane being different characters. I totally buy them all. MT says, I saw the Power Rangers film and liked it. What are your hopes for the sequel? Check out our Power Rangers Media Madness where we talked in length for this. So that's on Comic Frontline. So go check that out. Just hold on, just scrolling down. Sorry. This chat. Gotta scroll up now because I scrolled down too much. Gonna copy and paste one of the comments so I see where I'm at. All right, now I'm back. MT says, does your mom have any idea what you're talking about? Probably not. I try to explain comics to her. She does the best she could. She listens. That's the most important thing. I don't think she knows what I'm talking about. She's like, what is that girl talking about now? Jay says, piggybacking off Brent's, would you want to acknowledge Spider-Verse and her being Spider-Woman and just pick up where Spider-Girl left? Yes and no for both, because I think there's a really interesting story to tell with Peter being gone. I think there's a lot of cool directions you could go with it. But as a hardcore Spider-Girl fan, of course I would like to see it going back to status quo. And I feel like there's two different stories you could tell with it. If you tell the Spider-Verse story, you could tell the story I was saying about before. But if you tell the, Spider-Verse Never Happened story, I think you could go back to talking about April and what happened to her. So, but I think there is actually more to tell if you in both stories, you could tell a lot because it's Spider-Girl, but I think there's more of an interesting character arc to go with Peter dying. So I would say maybe the Spider-Verse story, seeing where that goes. Maybe I just want May to have a part-time job, and that's why I say that, but... And I do think it'd be fun, her just like trying to say, no, it's Spider-Woman. It's like, no, it's not. Because they did make a comment, I think it was in the Spider Island backstory, where she's like, I really need to like make a Facebook page or something to let people know I'm Spider-Woman. So I think that could be a lot of fun in like the first couple of issues just to play off that as like, I'm Spider-Woman. It's like, no, you're not. Other review dude, could be just because of Subway commercials on, but what is your order to go with Subway? Don't like sandwiches, actually, so I'm not a Subway fan. But if I had to buy something at Subway, it would be a nice fountain Coke and some chips, because that's all I would order at Subway. Not a big sandwich fan. RIP printer, I know. It was time to go. Wally West, who do you think has a worse comic history, the Hawks, Power Girl, or Donna Troy? Also, have you dropped Titans? I actually think Titans has gotten better, so I have not dropped Titans. Who is the more confusing history? Probably the Hawks, I will go with. I think the Hawks has the worst history. Tevi, I've talked about the new Spider-Man show before, so I'm going to skip that. The other review dude, I'm conflicted with Kamala. One hand, I love her book, but is good only in trade. On the other hand, she keeps dissing my boy Sam. I think it's all out of love how she disses Sam. But I love Kamala, and I love reading it issue by issue. I think she's just a great character. I always look forward to her book. But I see where you're coming from as a Nova fan. Kenneth says, are you going to read Batman Metal when it comes out? Yeah, I'm not really excited for it, but I am going to read it. Let's see. MT says, sure, why not? I didn't mind Jar Jar. Well, I'm glad you like Jar Jar, but I'm okay with him not getting a book. Gotta move up. Hold on. Tevia says, question, how would you make an interaction between Mayday, Spider-Girl, and her father from the 616? I would not add the CEO part, but I think May would be surprised about the direction Peter has gone recently. And yeah, I think she'd just be surprised. That's what I'll say. Other review dude said, I would love a tough, hardcore book where Jar Jar is a bounty hunter. That could be interesting. Making a badass Jar Jar. How about a comic where it turns out that Jar Jar is a Sith Lord? The other review dude, I think it'd be a viral video if you film trying to explain comic to your mom. It might be. I think so. That's, again, every day of my life, try to explain comics to my family. Tevia says, Kat, do you think Spider-Verse was a missed opportunity with Mayday and her brother's involvement? Yeah, I think they could have done more with her, definitely. Going up. All right, Scott McCall, nice name. Thoughts on the trailer for Thor 3? Actually, I did a video on it, so if you want to check out my thoughts on that, you could check that out. Damian Gray, hey, do you think they should make a Batboy for DC? Nah, I think Robin's pretty much Batboy. I don't think we need a Batboy. Tevia, I talked about Fast and Furious earlier in the show, so check that out. Rabbit Ears Blog, do you think that Loud House is saving Nickelodeon? Yeah, honestly, animation-wise, I really do think they are saving Nickelodeon in many ways. Their lights just flickered. That was weird. Moving on. The other review dude, I think Kamala is great. Oh, I think I read that already. Tevia, Kat, do you think John Superboy will ever meet Mayday? Would it be cute or amazing? I guess this is very much a what if question because I don't think they would ever meet. I don't know. I think it's weird because they're so different in age and in power set. I think it's a more interesting question to ask if May and Annie met because they're the same person. So technically, well, technically they're sisters. We'll call them. They're not really the same person, but they're sisters. So I think that's a more interesting question than John or interesting scenario than John and May meeting. Scott McCall says, what do you think about horror movies in recent years? Interestingly enough, I had an in-depth conversation about this with my friend yesterday, and he finally got me to watch Nightmare on Elm Street because I never seen the original, so I never seen the remake either. But so we watched 1 and 3, and I'm going to show Stranger Things next week. And I'm a big fan of slasher films, which is weird that I've never seen Elm Street, but big fan of like Halloween and love Scream, like love that franchise, and even like Final Destination I like. And I think the problem with recent horror movies is that it's pretentious in a lot of ways. They know what they are and they're like, oh well, we're highbrow now, we're horror films. Or they try to do jump scares. I think what made those films so good is they weren't afraid to be B movies. They weren't afraid to be cheese. And that's what I feel like is missing in horror films is that making fun, that structure of, oh, well, that's going to happen because this rule in horror movies says this. And the last films we really got that with was Scream. But even like Final Destination, not great movies, but they're fun. You just kind of like see the kills, you see the creativity of it. And that's the film. It's not afraid of what it is. And I think good horror movies know how to be bad in a way. It's weird to say that, but in my opinion, I think that's a good horror movie. Or at least a good slasher film. Damien Axe isn't Duke sort of Batboy? I guess so, but haven't even said Duke's name yet. I don't read All-Star Batman, so I don't know. MT, have you seen the Star Trek reboot films? I seen the first 2. I didn't see the other one, but they're fun, they're fun to watch, but very forgettable. I couldn't tell you what happened in them, but they're fun to watch at the moment. The other review dude says, I agree, the Loud House is amazing and the only reason I watch Nick. Me too. Thank you, Alan, for putting my review of Thor in the comments. I appreciate that. Tevia asks, so if Annie and May met, how would they feel about each other? Again, I think they'd take more of a family approach to it because, I mean, we've seen May's extended family before because technically Kane's her uncle. Technically, Dark Devil's her cousin / half-brother because it's Ben Reilly's kid. So she has an already very interesting extended family. She has her own clone, which was April, and Annie, I think, would just add to the extended family. I think she would definitely see her as a little sister, and treat her as a little sister. MT says when Young Justice comes back, it should be aired on Toonami since the show is mostly for an older audience. Well, is Toonami? I thought was just for anime though. So it depends. Like if they air American cartoons or is it only anime they air? Timothy X, did I finish Legion? No, it wasn't really for me. I watched the first episode and I'm like, you know what? I'm good. So probably will not continue to watch Legion. All right, moving on how much time is. All right, so we'll probably be on for another 10, 15 minutes. So definitely ask your last minute questions. Thank you guys for so many questions for this Q&A. And then Alan says, make sure to subscribe to Kat's channel for more great reviews. And oh man, I was trying to finish reading that. All right, great reviews and content. And while you're there, check out the other Comic Frontline members' videos. I couldn't have said it any better, Alan. So thank you, appreciate that. Go listen to Alan. All right, next is Tevia. Question, Kat, do you think Duke has been a waste of time as a new character? Like I said, I don't read All-Star Batman, so I can't really say, and that's the only series he really appeared in recently. Damien says, well, they have Superboy. Why not Batboy? I mean, Superboy is like a name that's been since the Silver Age. So that's why they have Superboy. Batboy has just never really been a thing. So I don't think we'll get a Batboy unless it's like a parody of something. Super Mario says, what's the point in making the DC movies dark? If dark, fine. Character, fine. But other than that, why do it? It's the direction the director wanted to go. Can't answer it, though. You'd have to ask him, I guess. So, next question is, Kat, do you think Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz should ever be in Young Justice Season 3? I think they're a bit too much of newer characters to really be in Young Justice. Also, they're older characters. I don't think we really need to see them in the show. At least not in Season 3. Maybe if they did a Season 4. The other review, dude, if you could kill off one member of the Bat family and save another, who would you pick? It's kill Tim and save Damian for him. For me, it'd probably be save Steph because Stephanie, she deserves better. So save Steph 100%. Kill Damian. Yeah, kill Damian probably. MT says, have you read Jason Aaron's Doctor Strange? No, I'm not a huge Doctor Strange fan, so I've not read it. Read the title. Yeah, Tevia said it's mostly anime, Toonami. Sparrow asks how my day's been. It's been pretty good. Reading comics. I've actually been playing Pokemon Sun, so that's been fun. Other review, dude. Do you think it's amazing we live in a time where we could pick and choose which comic TV shows we have because there's so many? I do think that's amazing. I love that. And they're airing Samurai Jack, which is an American cartoon. So yeah, they could show a Young Justice. I didn't know that. So there you go. They could show it. I do think Netflix will pick it up though. Sam Long says, do I like Teen Titans Go? No, it's not really my thing. Not my type of humor. But I do think it's good for kids who want to get into superheroes. Let's see. Tevia says, Kat, do you think Tim Drake, Robin's going to be saved during the button? I don't think the button's really going to involve Tim, but maybe. You never know. I would like it too. That'd be awesome to see more about that question that was implied in Detective. Damian Gray says, kill Damian. I'm heartbroken. Well, I had to pick some Bat family member. It was between Damian or Jason, so I picked Damian. Kat the supervillain. I guess I am. And thank you, Alan, for plugging the Star Wars trailer for me. Tevia said, okay, hold on. Getting a lot of... Okay. Tevia says, Kat, do you think this is a Invincible movie is going to be good or a train wreck? We did answer that on Frontline Live, so go check out when we talked about it there. And then we have Kenneth who says, Kat, do you read any kids comics? There's always a time where I pick up a kid comic or two, but not recently. Usually it would have been like Tiny Titans. Superpowers, I didn't like this time around, so I did drop that one. I read Powerpuff Girls, but I didn't really like the current one, so I dropped that. So yeah, every once in a while, I'll pick up a kid comic just for fun, especially if it's a franchise I like. Damian Gray says, if you could make a superhero name for the Bat Family, what would it be? Like the whole Bat Family? I think I would just call it the Bat Family. Yeah, I mean, I like their names right now. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't know the answer for that one. All right, so I think we're getting to the hour and a half mark. So we're gonna close up shop now. So thank you guys, though, for the many questions and the continuous questions. Really appreciate it. Again, May, of course, I'll have another Q&A. It probably won't be in the end of the month. It'll probably be kind of this time, maybe a week earlier. So just because I have a lot of Comic Cons coming up in the end of May. So it won't be like after the 20th. It'll be before May 20th. I will have another Q&A. So look forward to that. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys again for joining me. This was awesome. And hopefully you guys enjoyed. So this is Comic Uno, and I will see you guys tomorrow for Frontline Live on Comic Frontline. So be sure to check that out. And then Wednesday for the Pretty Little Liars show for our Media Madness on Comic Frontline. If you're looking for more live shows that I am on, also podcast-wise, I will be on the Legends Tomorrow podcast recording Thursday, so that should be up on Friday, talking about the whole season 2 of Legends of Tomorrow. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.